has been a long, long season. Well, that was the closest encounter with a big bull I've ever had. Me and Eric are hunting together this morning, and we left the house at about 5 o'clock and climbed up this really steep ridge. It's kind of a knob, and we were actually setting up. Well, we got on top of the knob to see what the wind was doing, and there's like 4 different possible bedding areas that when the elk come off the agricultural fields, they seem to go up and bed into. So we thought we'd just sit on top of that knob and kind of see what we see. And we heard bugling like crazy all over the place. Well, not all over the place, mostly to my right, and then one bugle kind of straight in front of us, but they were all on private property, so we couldn't really go after them. But we ended up setting up so that Eric could be set kind of, oh, sorry, I'm kneeling on a steep ridge here. We kind of got set up so that I could call into a different bedding area and try to pull some bulls out of that over the ridge, and Eric would be on top of the ridge so he could shoot them while they're coming over to see who I am. But the way it worked out, I think I ended up actually calling in a bull, unless he was just headed that direction anyway, from down in the bottom by me. and the wind's perfect for both situations, so it's kind of a double whammy. But I was actually sitting over here having my morning meeting, if you know what I'm saying, and heard something walking right down in these little aspens right here, and it's about 300 yards away, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's something walking. So kind of got back to my actual location, and sure enough, soon after that bull stepped out, and he was probably within 200 yards of me. It's a huge bull, and he was alone, but he didn't really seem to respond to my calling. So he kind of kept trucking way on over there, and we saw him go way up into the top of this ridge kind of, but that's all public land, so we're gonna go after him and see what happens. We'll keep you posted. We got a little bit of hiking to do. Alright, well, I just met up with Eric after that bull ended up going off into the public land, and we got together and we're talking about our plan, and all of a sudden we could see on this little bald knob right here, we could see, I don't know, 3 or 4 elk, Eric?
Yeah.
I think they were all small bulls come across that, and they all went down into this thick patch right here. And so we kind of came over to this little glassy knob over here, and we thought maybe they'd come out and do the same thing that big bull did and be up into the public, but they never came out. So we're gonna sneak down. We got perfect wind. We've got multiple options on how to hunt that, and we're gonna sneak down and then set up a call and see if we can't get one of those little bulls on the ground. I think they're gonna be really susceptible to calling because they're so small, but if that doesn't work out, we'll try a couple spots, and then we'll be headed way up 2 ridges over and off into the public there to see if we can find that monster bull, which I'll take whatever we can get. We're not being picky out here. We're looking for meat. We'll see what happens. Well, we didn't have any luck this morning. We tried like 5 to 8 different little call setups, trying to hit those different bedding areas where we thought the herd went through this morning. It's kind of actually from where I'm standing right now, it's kind of right there. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, I think we had a decent plan, right?
We had a good plan.
We were trying to pull those 2 bulls out of that little strip of timber up there.
Yeah, the big bull went across, and we never had the right wind to go after it. But we were pretty sure 2 bulls were still in this small patch right over here, and possibly a whole herd. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of our plan, but we never got anything to come out. So we think they might have slipped out around us and gone way off. And then when the wind shifted, we didn't have the wind to get in there, so we ended up backing out. And we took a little break here midday, and now we're back into the spot where the big bull came through this morning, and we're gonna kind of just divide and conquer once the wind settles down and see if we can find, basically ambush him coming back through this.
We're hoping that he does what whitetails do, right?
Yeah.
He comes right back through. This is. I mean, if we had been here this morning,
we'd have killed him.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe he'll, retrace his steps right back and go to wherever it was he was feeding last night.
Yeah. So, I mean, there were so many elk that went that way from feeding.
Right.
That
I would even a couple or few of them come back this way.
We're not picky, so
we might get a shot.
So
I think definitely someone to be up here. Tonight.
Yeah. So and the other boys are way across the ranch on another big plateau. So hopefully someone gets some luck here. It's been good. We're seeing elk.
Yeah.
You get them eventually.
Right. Yeah. It was a good morning.
Yeah.
We didn't shoot anything, but we definitely saw some stuff, and it was enough to make a plan for tonight. So.
Yeah. Just know they're around.
Yeah. Right.
We'll see what happens. Well, we're just driving back from the morning hunt, which it is now 1 o'clock, so it's been a pretty typical morning for us, I guess. And this morning we kind of ended up going to we hiked up a big
big ridge to a glassing spot, and thought we were pretty sure we'd see elk there. They're just not on our property that we can hunt. So we kind of wanted to just see where they came out and see if maybe they decided to come our way and then bed in our timber. And then if they did, we would make a move on them. But we had one kind of walking parallel to it, and we kind of ran around trying to see if we could cut them off, but we didn't have any luck. So we hiked out of there, got the truck, and we drove all the way across the ranch and hit a couple of kind of plateauish areas where we could call down into bedding areas without disturbing too much. And then Josiah and Mitch found a new wallow yesterday that they bumped a bull out of. They didn't know. They were actually on their way to a wallow that Mitch knew about, and on the way there they took a different route and found a new wallow that had a bull in it. So they had set up a calling set right before they got there, and it didn't respond. So one thing we're finding right now is that the elk are not responding to calls really at all. The first night we pulled 2 bulls in from 500 or 600 yards away, basically on a rope, but with just a couple of cow calls. But since then, we've been real careful about setups and wind and everything, and trying spots that we've seen elk walk into, and we can't seem to get any response from them. So it's been really hot. It's been like 90 degrees most days in the middle of the day, and today it's finally cooler. It's like 60, I guess, which I don't believe it feels a lot hotter than that. But it's supposed to really drop tonight. So it was 90 the last few days. Tonight it's supposed to get down to what?
25 for the low.
Yeah, 25 degrees tonight. And the rest of the time here, we basically got another whole week here yet. It's gonna be pretty cold, so I think that'll really change things up. Whoa, a little bit of a bumpy road here, and I think these are ATV trails that we're driving on. But I think this cold weather could really change things up for better or for worse. And right now it's really not great hunting. We're seeing elk, but they're way off, and then they go to bed, and we can't get them out of there so without busting them. So I think this cold front's gonna do us some good. We're also supposed to get some rain tonight, right? Yeah, so get some rain tonight, which is apparently kind of unusual here. It doesn't rain that often here, so we'll keep you posted and see what happens.
A little bit soggy out tonight. Not going to be bringing out our camera gear, are we, Ben?
Nope.
Oh, nope. Turn the camera at Ben.
Yeah, we're gonna be leaving the camera equipment behind tonight, which I'm actually pretty excited about.
Yeah. Boys, you going to go out in this crappy weather?
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Can't get elk in the house.
Raise your hand if you have appropriate rain gear.
High 5.
I don't. Joe
Don't need it.
Yeah.
Haven't melted yet. Well, now that we're not going to have our camera gear with us, what's going to happen, Ben?
Probably gonna drop a 300-inch plus bull.
Probably get some 300-inch bulls.
4 of them.
That ain't no bull. Let's go.
Not now that you said it.
Well, we're just getting back from the morning hunt. It's about, 1 o'clock?
Almost one.
Yeah. And me and Mitch hunted together today, and it rained all evening yesterday, so we didn't bring our video cameras out, which was actually really nice.
Yeah.
And then this morning it was really wet, and it was like 25 degrees, maybe 30, and everything kind of froze over up high on the higher elevations. Down low it was actually still pretty wet.
Yep.
But it was all so soaked we didn't bring our camera gear again with, which is unfortunate because it's a beautiful morning. We got way up on the highest peak of the area, and it was snow up there and frosted over. And we just started up high and kind of worked our way down and around all the ridges, doing location bugles, and we covered a lot of ground. Went over into the public and bombed around in some super steep terrain there. It was all downhill, but a lot of downhill. And never located an elk. Found a lot of old sign.
Yep.
A lot of old sign, but nothing.
Been there once, but
Yeah.
weren't there today.
a good shooting lane.
I was almost thinking if I up by, well, I don't know if that's enough cover to get by that tree. But
Probably could be. Or kind of in that tipped over pine. A little thick in here. Sometimes you find yourself going down a path where this is your only option to get out.
Well, I'm just getting back from the morning hunt here. It was not too much of a hunt today. We've been having issues with elk responding to calls, so we kind of have only one really small area that we keep going, and we've got kind of two-man teams, and we always have one person over in that area where we've been consistently seeing elk. But so Mitch and Eric are over there right now. They went there this morning. But me and Josiah kind of went on a little bit of a mission to try to just find another set of elk. So we just drove all the different roads in the area all morning and bugled, did location bugles, and then tried to find some. We didn't really find any elk. We found 2 bull moose, which were really big, so that was really cool to see. I wish I had a better camera with me at the time. But then we also found a fresh set of tracks that was probably from last night of, I think they were elk tracks. So we might go back into that area tonight and set up and see if we can call them back out of where they went in. We did a couple of long sets too. We set up in some areas where we could pull them up out of their bedding areas that they might have came into earlier this morning, and we sat for like half an hour doing calling sets, but we didn't have any action. Last night Eric and I were out, and we were both calling. He had a bull come in over top of this ridge behind him, and I think that got within 60 yards of him. So that was pretty exciting that it, I don't know if it saw him or skylined him or something, but he was kind of making that noise that it's like a show yourself bark or bugle. And I don't think he liked that he couldn't see the cow that was making noise, so he ended up just sauntering off. So kind of just waiting for the rut to heat up, the elk rut to heat up. So until then, we're going to try to just not blow anything out too badly and kind of just try to stay out of the thick bedding areas, hoping it turns on later in the week, and just kind of slow playing it. So we'll just keep at it.
Well, it's September 9th. I'm just getting set up in my evening spot here. We're about a little over halfway through the trip. It's been pretty tough with lack of response from the elk, so I'm kind of set up on an ambush right now again. This is basically the spot, same setup that worked the first night, Friday night, when we tried to do a bonus hunt, but a lot's changed since then. No one's been back over a year, but there's still been elk in this area. People have hunted further down and could glass them in this area, so it's a good spot to see elk, but it's hard to pull them across the feeding field where they feed in the neighbor's hay field or whatever. And this is CRP just on the other side of the fence for me. So we're trying to pull them over like 600 yards. So Josiah had it almost work last night by himself, but we think we need 2 callers, one way further up, to kind of pull them over past the shooter. So tonight Mitch is up top, and he's gonna be on the other side of the ridge top, and he's gonna try to call him up there, and I'm gonna try to cut him off right here. So it's nice out. It's like 50 degrees, and you know, we got good wind, so I'm feeling good about tonight. We'll see what happens.
Well, we're just getting back from tonight's hunt. Me and Mitch hunted together tonight and went back to the spot we started at on Friday and climbed up a big, I don't know, call it a mountain or a knob or what?
A hill.
Big hill, sure.
Yeah.
Plenty big. Climbed up that, got to the top. I went down into the bottom, and then Mitch was gonna call for me and see what happened, but and also glass too. And we could both glass this, that CRP field?
Yep.
CRP field. And got all set up and started checking my wind, and it was kind of coming straight into the left. And we were kind of hoping to come out to the right. That's kind of what we were set up for. And then not too long after, I saw there was elk to my left, and my wind was going basically right at them. I don't know how far away they would have been from me.
Yeah.
600,
A few hundred yards at least.
600 yards.
Yeah, at least over 500 yards.
Yeah. So I packed up my stuff, crawled out to the wood line, ran back up the hill.
Big hill.
Big hill.
Sandy mountain.
Yeah, ran back up that through the woods so they couldn't see me. Found Mitch, and then we regrouped, ran downwind of them.
Down the ridge, yeah.
Yeah, and by this time we had, what, 30 minutes of shooting light left to make a new plan?
Yep.
Maybe. So ran back down, and what was out in the field was a bull and 6 cows?
6 cows, yeah, a couple calves, but yeah.
Yeah, big bull. And I think I got some really poor footage before I quickly packed up my camera and ran out of there to regroup. And ran up there anyway, went way down the ridge top, kind of got repositioned, and Mitch started calling again.
Yeah, last ditch effort, tried the lost calf call until it ran out of light, and they watched, they seemed interested, but they were just too far away and didn't come.
Yeah. Then right at the end you thought,
yeah, something I thought came up from the other side of me where I couldn't see. At the end of the lost calf call sequence, I added in a cow call, and just a couple minutes after that, I just heard kind of a thunk crash of a bush, and sounded big, sounded something heavy, so I would believe it could have been an elk, but never got a visual. I'm thinking just there's another elk over to the right of us that called in doing the lost calf, and then the cow call to follow that, and it was getting pretty late anyways, and that was not much else we could do. That was pretty much it.
yeah, that was pretty much the night.
Yeah.
The other boys aren't back yet, but haven't got a phone call yet, so probably means they're tracking an elk.
Yeah, they're probably tracking an elk.
Yeah,
I would have to assume.
Yeah, I would assume so. So we'll get back after it tomorrow. Get a couple winks of sleep here.
Yep.
Get your typical 4.5, 5 hours of sleep, and then get back at it.